This video is part of a series based on the book Impact or Invisible: Surviving the Data Age with AI by Angel Reyes, available on Amazon. Welcome to video 27 in our AI.-powered research series. Today we're introducing a practical tool for ethical decision-making, the mirror test. This is a simple framework to help you evaluate whether a particular AI use in your research is appropriate. Here's the challenge. The rules around AI in research are evolving so rapidly that formal guidelines can't keep up. Journal policies are inconsistent. Institutional guidance is often vague, and new AI capabilities emerge faster than ethics committees can evaluate them. You need a framework you can apply in real time when you're sitting at your computer wondering whether a particular use of AI is appropriate. The mirror test gives you that framework. The test consists of 3 simple questions. If your AI use can pass all 3, it's probably fine. If it fails any of them, you should reconsider. By the end of this video, you'll have a practical tool for navigating ethical gray areas in AI.-assisted research. Let's understand why we need a decision framework for AI ethics. Traditional research ethics focused on clearly defined scenarios. Is this plagiarism? Is this data fabrication? Is this informed consent violation? These questions often have clear answers based on established norms. AI introduces fuzzier territory. Is using AI to polish your writing unethical? Most would say no. Is having AI write your entire paper unethical? Most would say yes. But where exactly is the line between acceptable editing assistance and problematic ghostwriting? What about using AI to help design your study, to suggest hypotheses, to interpret your results? Each of these represents a spectrum from clearly acceptable to clearly problematic, with lots of gray area in between. Formal guidelines can't cover every scenario, and waiting for official guidance means missing opportunities to use AI productively. What you need is an internal compass, a set of principles you can apply when no explicit rule tells you what to do. The mirror test provides that compass through 3 simple questions that get to the heart of research integrity. Here's the mirror test. 3 questions to ask about any AI use in your research. Question 1. Would I disclose this? If you would be reluctant to tell your advisor, co-authors, editor, or readers about this AI use, that reluctance is telling you something. Ethical AI use is transparent AI use. If you're inclined to hide it, ask yourself why. Question 2. Would I explain this to a journalist? Imagine a reporter asking how you used AI in your research. Would you feel comfortable explaining this particular use? If the thought makes you uncomfortable, that's a signal. Research that makes headlines should be able to withstand scrutiny of its methods, including AI methods. Question 3. Would I defend this to a skeptical colleague? Picture a respected colleague who's skeptical of AI in research asking you to justify this use. Could you make a convincing argument that this AI application maintains the integrity of your work? If you couldn't construct that defense, reconsider the use. If your AI use passes all 3 questions, proceed with confidence. If it fails any one of them, that's a red flag that merits careful thought. Let me show you how to apply the mirror test to some common research scenarios. Scenario 1. Using AI to improve grammar and clarity in your manuscript. Ask yourself the 3 questions. Would I disclose this? Yes, easily. It is similar to using Grammarly or having a colleague proofread. Would I explain this to a journalist? Sure, it is basic editing assistance. Would I defend it to a skeptical colleague? Absolutely. It does not affect the substance of the research. The verdict here is clearly acceptable. This use passes all 3 questions without hesitation. Scenario 2. Using AI to generate the first draft of your discussion section, then editing it heavily. Would I disclose this? You might hesitate here. Would I explain it to a journalist? It might sound worse than it actually is. Would I defend it to a skeptical colleague? You would have arguments, but they might push back on whether the ideas are truly yours. The verdict is caution. This is a gray area. Make sure to disclose fully and ensure your revisions are substantial enough that the final product reflects your thinking. Scenario 3. Using AI to generate research ideas or hypotheses without any critical human evaluation. Would I disclose this? Probably not, which is telling. Would I explain it to a journalist? It could sound like AI is doing your intellectual work for you. Would I defend it to a skeptical colleague? It is hard to argue this does not compromise intellectual originality. The verdict is to reconsider this approach or add meaningful human evaluation and critical thinking. Scenario 4. Using AI to help write or debug code for your analysis. Would I disclose this? Yes, it is similar to using Stack Overflow or documentation. Would I explain it to a journalist? They would understand using tools for technical tasks. Would I defend it to a skeptical colleague? Yes, as long as you verified the code works correctly. The verdict is acceptable with proper documentation and testing. Let me share some more complex scenarios and how the mirror test helps navigate them. Scenario: using AI to help code your qualitative data. Mirror test application. Would you disclose using AI in your coding process? If yes, you'd explain exactly how. That AI suggested initial codes, that you refined them, that human judgment drove final coding decisions. A journalist would hear a story about AI as a tool that accelerates human analysis. A skeptical colleague would be reassured by your emphasis on human interpretation. Verdict: this can pass if you maintain human judgment as primary and disclose the process fully. It fails if AI coding is accepted without critical human review. Scenario: uploading your draft manuscript to AI for comprehensive feedback. Mirror test application. Would you disclose this? You might. It's like getting feedback from a colleague. But would you be comfortable explaining to a journalist that AI read your unpublished work? That raises data security questions covered in earlier videos. A skeptical colleague might ask about intellectual property. Verdict: caution on the data security front, even if the feedback process itself is ethically sound. Apply the data protection principles from video 23 alongside the mirror test. The framework helps you identify which concerns apply to each situation. Here's the impact of having a reliable ethical framework. When you have the mirror test internalized, you can make ethical decisions in real time without anxiety or second guessing. You gain confidence in your AI use. Instead of vague worry about whether something is appropriate, you have a structured way to evaluate it. Decisions that pass the test can proceed without guilt. You catch problems early. The mirror test reveals issues before they become serious. Better to reconsider an AI use now than to face questions during peer review or after publication. You can guide others with a simple framework. When students or colleagues ask, "Is this okay?" you can teach them the 3 questions rather than giving case-by-case rulings. The framework scales to situations you haven't anticipated. You maintain your professional integrity. Research ethics isn't about following rules. It's about being someone whose work can be trusted. The mirror test keeps you aligned with that deeper goal, and you contribute to emerging norms. When researchers consistently apply ethical frameworks like this, they help define what appropriate AI use looks like for the field. Let's summarize the key takeaways from this video. First, formal rules can't keep pace with AI developments. You need an internal framework for navigating ethical gray areas in real time. The mirror test provides that framework. Second, the 3 questions are: would I disclose this? Would I explain it to a journalist? Would I defend it to a skeptical colleague? If any answer is no, reconsider the AI use. Third, the test helps distinguish clearly acceptable uses from problematic ones, with appropriate caution for gray areas. Grammar checking passes easily. Uncritical A. I.generated ideas fail. Heavy AI drafting with human revision requires careful disclosure. Fourth, having a framework builds confidence and catches problems early. You can make decisions without anxiety, guide others, and maintain professional integrity. Internalize the mirror test and apply it habitually to your I.assisted research. Here's your takeaway to remember. The mirror test isn't about paranoia or avoiding AI. It's about using AI in ways you'd be proud to explain. If you can't imagine disclosing it, explaining it, or defending it, that discomfort is important information. Listen to it. The researchers who will thrive in the AI era are those who can harness AI's power while maintaining clear-eyed honesty about how they're using it. In the next video, we'll cover documenting AI use for reproducibility, ensuring your AI.assisted methods can be replicated and verified. If you found this valuable, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it.